All right. So, individual candles, what can they really tell us? So, start with the basics. So, we'll go over here. We have a dogi. So, with the dogi, it's lucky you get our little drawing tool out here. Probably be useful here. We'll just use this. Okay. So, we have a dogi. Whether it's red, green, whatever. Doesn't really matter too much, doesn't affect it. It's kind of just a neutral sign. You know, you don't, even if you're trading off of microstructure, you never really want to place a trade in off of this, but it can feed bias a little bit. Like, say, say we're going up a little bit, we're going like this, and that's like a microstructure and you're expecting a downside movement. Having a few of these could help it, and vice versa. So, kind of first concept, basic, just get that out of the way. Good introduction point. So, next we have kind of a basic candle. So, if it's just like this, or same thing if it's a red candle. This is just a basic candle. Not the same thing as the dogi, it will it's kind of less of an uncertain thing and just like, yeah, it's a red candle like this, we're going down. Yeah, it's a green candle like this, we're going down. No real definite direction I can make. But then we start to get into more advanced concepts. So, say, honestly, we're probably just best off going with a drawing type thing, to be honest. So, whatever. Say we're going down. So imagine, just do this. This part isn't that big of a deal, so understand it if you can, don't if you can't. So, whatever. We're going down. And then, all of a sudden, I think the exact term's like a hammer, something like that. All of a sudden, we get one of these little guys. And this would be green in this example. And we get this small top with no wick at the top. And it can be in other forms. It could be a little bigger like this, medium, very small. So if we get that, it's called a hammer. That's an indication that price on the microstructure side is going to start going up. And then it's just vice versa. So we'll go on here. Boom. This green. And then I personally, when we get to the other side here, I don't know. It's like I've said before. What's important is spotting them. What's not important is knowing the vocabulary. So I just call this an inverted hammer, and it's the exact opposite. Seeing something like this is a sign that microstructure is going to start going lower. Now, when do these get powerful? When can you actually use them as one of your confluences? Once again, never take a trade just off of one confluence like this. You want to stack them up. So, if you can get this, and you can get some sort of engulfing, so pretty big candle like this. Maybe even we have a wick here. So you either want no matter what, you want a somewhat sizable candle. So you get a pretty decent sized candle like this, no wick on the bottom. That's a bearish engulfing. That's a really good sign that market, if you have your other confluences and then you have this, chances are market is going to shoot down not just one level, multiple levels. Now, this isn't an end-all be-all. Like, I'll show it later on in the video, but I'm sure there's instances where this won't change it. Like everything else, you want to stack it with your other confluences. But it's a pretty good indication. It's like one of those last little forms of entry confirmation, last like confluence to really cement the trade idea. So it can be like that, it can be no wick, whatever. Then it changes a little bit. So if you want to use this, if you want to use an engulfing with a crazy wick like this, okay, not that big, definitely not that big. That would be like news, and we don't trade on those. So say you want to use an engulfing like this with a crazy wick, your expectancy for the candle body is that it's going to be a bigger candle. So you'd want it to be bigger like this. That's reasonable. That's still reason to take the trade. If you get that big of a candle, even if there's a wick, that's plenty of reason. And same thing on the other side. Now, some people are like, oh, what about this bullshit with, oh, this, this 25% bearish and 50% bearish, 75% bearish, 100% bearish. None of that fucking matters. Same thing with the bullish side of things. None of that fucking matters. It's all useless shit to get watch time, if I'm going to be honest with you. All that matters is the hammer, because that's if we're like earlier, if we're going from a downtrend to it on an uptrend, then that is the buyers regaining control, and then that engulfing is solidification of that control. Same thing on the sell side. So, with that being said, those are the two things that we'll cover, because those are the two things that I actually use in my strategy to make good money. So, let's look at some examples in particular here. So, this is kind of the dogi, like I said. You can see how trends kind of change after that. Then here's a little bit of a better example. Right here, this hammer right here, you have to zoom in. We're on low liquidity hours. We'll get out of this after this example, but you see the hammer, no engulfing, but you can kind of see how the bulls took control for a little bit. And we were followed by, and we'll stack right on the other lesson, low, high, kind of a higher low, very small, but you can see it, and then higher high, and boom. So we'll go to the actual better example of this. This isn't going to happen every time, but like this time, right here. Nothing really here, which you did get a micro BOS, so you could have taken that back in our previous lesson, but right here, hammer, engulfing. Okay, so our laptop is pretty close to being dead. Anyways, sort of a hammer, engulfing, boom, there. It's just basic market structure. Let's see if we can find any more. Earlier on last week, I know I took a few trades off of this. I didn't really take any trades off this. I was mainly using micro BOSs this week and some S&Ts, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, concept pretty damn cut and dry. So that's honestly, this is going to be a short one. If something needs to be explained more, say it in the comments. If not, don't. It's a pretty simple concept, you know. Ask me, ask ChatGPT if you need more clarification. But that's basically it. Pretty simple. Just what different candles mean, which ones are important. You know, we're cutting out the bullshit. We're not gonna give you fucking stupid information that you don't need just to fucking fill our watch time. Because that's stupid. Why would we do that? But, yeah, in conclusion, a hammer or an inverted hammer is a sign that price is gonna move in the direction that it's going in. Definitely would take notes on this. Keep your fucking notepads out whenever you're watching the psychology, whatever, just watch that shit. Trade recap, probably would recommend taking notes on it, seeing as those are literal positive trades I'm making money on. But these lessons, absolutely take fucking notes on, because this is how you're putting together your strategy. This is how you're learning how the market moves. But anyways, that's scrap that tangent. But the point is, engulfing, sign that market's moving in that direction, and fulfillment of market moving in that direction, both ways. And then if you compare a hammer or an inverted hammer plus an engulfing, then that's a sign that we're going to go in that direction for at least a little bit. Pair that with other confluences, then all of a sudden you're going in market for a long time. Have a good day, and yeah, keep your discipline. That's about it.